Taiwan is bursting with heaps of fun places to explore. Join me, Amber Hatfield, as I hit up travel hotspots, soak up some culture, and hunt down hidden gems. Let's go! Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Go. I'm your host, Amber Hatfield, and in today's episode, we are going to be talking to David and Yuli. If you listened to last week's episode, you would have heard me chatting with David and Yuli, who were visiting Taiwan for the Taiwan Hustle Congress 2025. I talked to them before they took part in the Hustle Dance Congress, and they were very excited about being here in Taiwan for that. But they were also spending some time in Taiwan for travel and doing some other things that they were interested in. So in my interview with David and Yuli, we talked all about the different places that they've been traveling in Taiwan and the places that they intend to go in the future. So I hope you enjoy this episode. We'll be chatting very relaxed about the different places that they've traveled in Taiwan and what they enjoyed about it. So I hope you enjoy hearing their perspective, and maybe it'll encourage you to want to come to Taiwan and travel around as well. This trip was not David and Yuli's first time in Taiwan. They have visited before, so they told me a little bit about what they've done on previous trips and what brought them back to Taiwan for another time.
This is my third time, and the first time I visited was, I think, around 6 years ago, and that was because of the friend that lives here, and Philip, as you might know him. And so that was the first time, and then second time it was 2 years ago, and now it's the third time.
So yeah, last time 2 years ago was my first, and I came to travel mostly and to visit community. Yeah, we traveled around the island. We visited National Park, Taroko. Yeah, we visited surfing spots, Tocheng, explored Taipei a little bit. Mm-hmm. So it was lots of movements, and at the same time we embraced
I wanted to know if they had noticed any changes or anything different about Taiwan since the first time they visited 6 years ago. Did you notice anything different this time coming to Taiwan compared to 6 years ago? Has anything changed in your view?
Yeah, the development of the buildings, for example. So this time yesterday we just came back from the island called
Xiaoliuqiu.
Xiaoliuqiu, exactly, thank you. And I was there 6 years ago, and I definitely haven't seen as many new hotels or apartment buildings being built or actually finished. It felt much more wild, or let's say Virgin, yeah, back then. And so that's definitely that I noticed right now. And in Taipei itself, I feel the same as back then. The smells, the sounds, the voices of the people. I love it, actually. So that when we were landing this time, I heard that I was listening to music on the airplane, the one that is actually provided by the airplane. It was some Taiwanese music, and we were landing, and I just felt like so warm and so beautiful when I was looking at the city from the plane. So I was already looking forward to it.
Yeah. And so how long are you visiting for this time?
10 days in total.
Okay.
So half to travel, half to dance.
David and Yuli went to a place called Xiaoliuqiu this time on their trip to Taiwan, and we talked about it. Before we get into that part of the interview, I'd like to introduce Xiaoliuqiu to you a little bit first. The island of Xiaoliuqiu on Taiwan's southwest coast is also known as Liuqiu Island or Lambai Island, and it's Taiwan's only coral island with a permanent population. It covers an area of just 6.8 square kilometers, or 2.6 square miles, making it easy to explore by scooter or even bicycle. Despite its small size, it's home to around 13,000 residents, and many of those are involved in fishing or tourism. The island is a paradise for snorkeling and diving, thanks to its warm waters and its vibrant coral. But one of its biggest draws is the green sea turtles, which can be spotted swimming freely in the shallow waters year-round, making Xiaoliuqiu one of the best places in Taiwan to get to see these gentle creatures up close. But not too close, make sure not to touch them. Beyond the ocean, Xiaoliuqiu also offers some unique geological formations shaped by centuries of wind and waves. You can go and explore areas like Vase Rock, Beauty Cave and Black Dwarf Cave, which each have their own fascinating history. The island also has historic temples, and it has night markets and some of Taiwan's freshest seafood too. It's got a mild climate, clear waters, and laid-back island vibes. So it's a perfect getaway for anyone wanting to do something adventurous like diving or just looking for a place to relax. David and Yuli shared with me about what they did when they went to Xiaoliuqiu this time. And so you've already done some traveling. You went to Xiaoliuqiu. Can we talk about that a little bit? So what was it that you did there?
We were snorkeling a lot. That's what we love. So we spent lots of time in water. It's beautiful. The corals there, the turtles, the beaches. They're small. The island itself is quite small, but you still can find a spot for you. It's not overcrowded. There are lots of possibilities to rent the gear, the equipment, to go either snorkeling or scuba diving or free diving. There are lots of schools, so whenever you get there you can find a place from where to learn. There are lots of food options, of course, so we were enjoying every meal, trying out new stuff.
Yeah, the turtles, there's so many turtles in Xiaoliuqiu. I had actually went to Xiaoliuqiu when I first moved to Taiwan about 10 years ago, and it was in the winter time. Actually, I feel like you guys are really brave for going snorkeling at this time because I hate the cold and I wouldn't want to go in the winter into the water. But the first time I went, I think it was December, and so I just enjoyed the beach, but I didn't actually want to go in the ocean because I thought it was too cold. And then I went again recently, maybe a year or two ago, and did snorkel, and I was so surprised by just the sheer amount of turtles that I saw in just such a small area and such a short space of time.
Yeah, we were amazed too.
Yeah. And I heard that you guys also are into free diving a little bit. Is that right?
I am a little bit, yeah.
Okay, and you do any of that in Xiaoliuqiu or just the snorkeling?
I kind of combined it, so that's why I kind of learned the skill of freediving. I enjoyed the sea world, being down there with the fish and the corals and just slowing down. It's beautiful. So yeah, I snorkel around, and then when I see something that I like and I want to come closer, I just dive and stay there as long as I can because it's a beautiful environment. And freediving also gives you the chance to explore the sea world without like all this equipment on you and the sounds that the equipment creates. So when you are breathing through as a scuba diver, you can really hear very well the all the air coming in and out and then the bubbles and so on. But when you are a free diver, you are just part of that environment. Like you are just naturally down there, and you can last less, of course, but you actually become part of that world. Cool.
It's a skill to learn, actually. I have tried just going down, not that deep as David, so maybe a few meters, I don't know, 5. But yeah, the entry level for free diving is higher, so you have to learn on the ground first the skills of equalizing versus scuba diving, which is easier, but with the equipment.
Yeah, it is quite difficult. I interviewed previously a guy who runs a freediving place down in Xiaoliuqiu, and he used to work in, I think, finance, and had this very kind of stressful life, stressful job, and decided to move down to Xiaoliuqiu, and he got into freediving, and he said it kind of changed his life and it made everything slow down, and it's just also that Xiaoliuqiu is a really beautiful place to do it. Did you guys... I guess you've also snorkeled in other places. Do you notice that the coral in Taiwan is particularly good? Or what do you think about the undersea life here?
We have something to compare with. We traveled to Australia, to Great Barrier Reef, and there it was more bright. I think it's due to preservation that they organize. They're very strict about where you can go and where you can swim. Here, the corals, I would say, were sad, but still you can see the big variety.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I didn't remember Xiaoliuqiu for the corals. I remember it for turtles. I was also surprised how many there are actually, because 6 years ago we didn't spend as much time there as now. We did back then. I think we did 1 day. Now we did 3. So I was looking forward for sure for the turtles, but then when I saw the corals, I was actually positively surprised. Like, it actually looked quite nice, in my opinion. In compare with the Great Barrier Reef, or we did also Egypt, snorkeling in Egypt. Yeah, there is the variety. Maybe the water wasn't as clear this time, so also the colors were not so bright. But I think it's great that Taiwan has like so much variety that you can actually go to an island and see corals and beautiful fish and turtles, and then there's so much more that you can also do on the island. For example, the mountains and all the interesting cities and the hot springs. So I think it's just awesome. Like, I wouldn't say that it's sad or that it's not good, the corals here.
Yeah. I think it depends kind of what you're comparing it to, because I've also done diving qualifications. I dived in a few places, and I think some places in Taiwan I do feel that way. I feel like, oh, it's kind of not that bright, but I think other places then there's a lot more, because I did also go to Orchid Island, Green Island as well, which are a bit more difficult to get to because they're on the east coast rather than Xiaoliuqiu on the west, and it's more easily accessible by public transport and stuff like that, and it's not taking as long to get there. But definitely more on the east coast islands there is probably a little bit more color as well. But yeah, it's just harder to get there.
Yeah, that was the original plan actually. We wanted to go there, but then we noticed that it's very windy there now, so we decided to go south where it's warmer. And actually, you were mentioning that we are brave to go into water, but actually it was quite warm. Like, we were surprised. It was, I think, 25 degrees they were mentioning, and so we could last there quite some time. It was quite okay. But yeah, I wanted to really go to the Green Island because I haven't been there yet, and I read amazing things about it.
Okay.
Until I found out the weather forecast.
And another one that's good is Penghu. Have you heard of Penghu?
Is it on the west?
It's also on the west side, yeah.
Okay.
This side of Taiwan, it's more of an archipelago of like different islands together. Yeah, but it's also really beautiful, and it's got some nice diving and snorkeling spots too, and much bigger. And there's also some really great places, like little old villages where the houses are made out of coral and stuff that have been there for maybe 50 years or really quite a long time. And it's a really beautiful island, but it would definitely take more time to explore. It's a lot bigger than Xiaoliuqiu, but you can fly there from Taipei. So if you do end up visiting again and you have more time, in the summertime, Penghu is a really nice place to go as well. You could try that as well. One other thing I wanted to ask is about what other things you're going to do while you're here. So because Taiwan's got so much variety, like you were just saying, are you planning to go to the mountains?
Not this time. The Congress will take full time until we depart. But last time we visited Taroko, the mountain, we hiked there and slept over in the lodge. It was beautiful. One of the best sunsets I've ever seen was there.
Really? Yeah, Taroko is really beautiful. I'm not sure if it's a bit more difficult to access certain roads right now since we had the earthquake last year, maybe, but yeah, there's so many amazing mountains. Have you been to any others, like Alishan or any Nantou, any areas there?
We were considering Alishan actually for this trip as well.
Okay.
But again, we were on the island and it was so sunny and warm.
Just too chill. We decided to stay and not rush.
Yeah, but we actually wanted to do Alishan. We already were checking the trains because there's the beautiful train ride and then the beautiful walks. But eventually we felt like it would be just rushed. We have to plan more time for it, but definitely on the list right now.
Okay. And I want to really quickly talk about Taiwan's food and what you feel about Taiwan's food and what things you've tried while you've been here.
Oh, yes.
I wouldn't be able to name, but thanks to our friend Philippe, we always try to go to different places and try different food. I would say my favorite would be the breakfast pancakes that we do.
Like the breakfast pancakes with the egg rolls. Very simple, but we love it.
Dumplings, steamed dumplings, yes, we love them.
Oh, the big steamed dumplings, yeah, I'm not sure what they are called. They're filled with meat inside as well. Lately, it's been lots of seafood. Also on the island, we did seafood. Also yesterday here in Taipei, we did seafood, but also anything from pork, chicken, anything. Yeah. And we enjoyed it. Overall, I love it. I was looking forward to the food a lot.
Yesterday, we went to a restaurant, typical Taiwanese restaurant with these rounded tables, stew and fried food. Over there, everything was great. Different types of meat, stirred with vegetables. And sometimes we try vegetables we don't know the name of and turn out to be good. So, yeah, it's such a variety. We just try everything, and so far, nothing disappointed us.
And we are hunting always for good mochi. Even right now, I have mochi in my bag. Just before coming here, we went to discover some new places. Thanks to our local friend, he already knows them. So definitely mochi and all the different dumplings, meat, rice, everything.
Yeah, I also love mochi. I went through a phase for a while where I was so obsessed with it and eating it all of the time that now I don't really eat it as much anymore because I ate it constantly for like maybe 2 or 3 years, and then I'm like, oh, I can't have any more. But mochi is really, really good too, and I like the ones where you get like a peanut powder, but they also do, some places they have it where it's more of like a peanut
butter
kind of, almost like a peanut butter, and it's more like soft and chewy inside, and that's really good.
Yeah, we had one today as
okay.
Well. Yeah. And actually we also like differentiate, and we went to the other place and they were like, oh, we have only powder, and like, okay, so we'll skip it.
We
discriminate the powder ones.
We discovered mung bean, which turned out to be delicious.
Today's discovery is the mung bean. It tasted like mango and some other fruits. It was delicious. Sweet potato or something. Wow.
Yeah. There is another dessert that's kind of similar to mochi. I think it comes from Japan, and I think they call it dafu. And it's kind of like a mochi outside, and then it's got red bean paste, and then in the very center it's got giant strawberry. Have you seen that or tried that?
Yeah, today in the store they had it as well, and I noticed it after I already ordered all the mochis. So I was like, next time I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, they're one of my favorites as well. I love those. And I think right now, because it's a bit colder, I think it's the strawberry season. So maybe the strawberries will be particularly juicy and good. So might be a good one to try. Can we talk about if you are planning to go anywhere else next? Because I heard that you're heading somewhere else after Taiwan.
Yeah, we go to Japan also for dancing, primarily for dancing. There will be an event, 10th anniversary of that community. And on top of that, we will travel to onsen, we will snowboard, because we love that, and discover the region around Tokyo.
I think we will go to like the direction of Nagano. I think that area which has some mountain range or like place with resorts, Hakuba, I think, and then Tokyo, and then Tochigi above, just north of Tokyo, and then we still have I think a few days that we left as we'll see kind of days.
That's all for today's episode of Let's Go. I hope you enjoyed our chat with David and Yuli, and thanks so much to them for coming on the show. Join me again next week as I'll be talking about trail running on next week's episode of Let's Go. See you there.